Hi. Okay, so day 3 is basically about revision strategies and editing strategies and introducing the final essay and beginning to think about the final essay. And so in the morning, you will return their paragraphs for essay 1 to them. You will have made 3 copies of your feedback, or however many copies are necessary for each group member to get a copy of your feedback. And you will also have selected some paragraphs that you want them to compare. And so the first activity is to compare paragraphs and talk about which are stronger, which are weaker, why, etc. And then I've put together a bunch of different revision strategies. I don't know if you want to do all of them, but I kind of wanted to give you as many options as I could think of, depending on what you see in their writing. And so you'll let them try out the various revision strategies that I've got kind of activities on and handouts on, and begin revising their paragraphs. You have to get them, so I guess if you've had 2 groups write the same paragraph, you're going to have to decide which one are we keeping, which one are we going to include in the essay. So you might have to go through a step doing that, just deciding which paragraphs are going to make it into this final essay 1 that we're putting together, right? And then the other thing that you'll need to do is maybe take them through tweaking topic sentences to clarify them, or have a discussion about how they might modify the working thesis statement based on how the paragraphs have sort of turned out. So that whole morning will be about revision and focusing that essay, focusing the topic sentences, focusing the thesis statement. Then you break, and then after the break, you're working on introductions and conclusions. And we're going to do, at least my suggestion is that you do a poster activity where they write their own introduction on a poster. Everybody can kind of look at each other's around the room. You decide which one is the strongest. You talk about the strengths and weaknesses of the various introduction paragraphs. You decide on one. And then the same with the conclusion. Okay. And then you have lunch. After lunch, I have some activities for editing strategies. One of them is a Prezi that has them revise various sentences. They could do that on their own. You could do it as a class. But I'm hoping at that point you will have sort of a master essay typed up on the computers. If you are not particularly computer savvy, or you don't like computers and you just want things to be in hard copy, maybe you won't do that. I have this idea that you will put together all these paragraphs and the introduction that seems the strongest and the conclusion that seems the strongest, and it will become one essay. But you don't necessarily have to do that step. That might be happening. If you do want to do that step, it would be happening while the students are doing some revision. Or sorry, not revision, editing strategies at that point. Okay, and then you will introduce the topic of the final essay, the prompt, and you will do the reading, Mike Rose's essay that's criticizing Duckworth's ideas. And you'll do some quick, you'll do a discussion where they're thinking about the different reading questions that I've identified for Rose's essay. And then the exit activity is to have them just brainstorm initially what is their idea about the final essay. What do they think they want to argue? Whose side are they on, I guess. And that's meant to get them sort of geared up for day 4. And that's that. So this is a day where, in terms of the editing activities and the revision activities, I feel like I've given more activities than can be done. So I would like you to review my suggestions and pick and choose which ones you think are appropriate, and maybe modify the organization of the day as you see fit. But there's lots of resources there which I hope will be useful to you. So that's day 3.